AI, artificial intelligence, it is everywhere these days as we record this in September 2025. It is said to be able to revolutionize businesses, transform how we get things done, and if you believe it, usher in a new future for humanity. But we already know that there are many inherent problems with AI. We know that there are many, many questions left to be answered about AI and its impact on all of us. But what if, amidst all of this, AI also had the potential to pull us further and further from our humanity and add to a state of disconnection, of polarization, and loneliness that we are already experiencing in the world today? And if so, what can we do about it all? Hey, everybody, I'm Maddie Stevenson. This is Conscious Ground. And in our last episode, we talked about manufactured disconnection, which is a deliberate system that is a part of our lives and society that preys on our emotions. It encourages us to fight with others when we disagree and keep us occupied rather than working together to make positive change in the world. And by the end of this episode, you'll have an understanding about how AI systems are accelerating manufactured disconnection, how offloading our thinking and relationships to AI is weakening our human capabilities. And we'll also talk about three critical skills that we risk losing in all of this and some ways that we can strengthen those skills instead. And this is Conscious Ground's 10 episode intro series where we not only discuss these issues to bring awareness to them, but also to provide ways on how you can live a healthier and more supported life by improving your connections with others, by modeling modern leadership that you want to see in the world, and yes, by relearning how we can work together in a divided world. And as an added bonus, we are launching soon. And with our launch, we are providing some very exciting giveaways that could help accelerate your impact in all of this. So check the description wherever you're watching or listening to this for more info there. But to get us started, I always like to ask a question, and that is, have you been using technology like AI more these days, or just technology in general these days? But more importantly, do you notice any human abilities that you have been relying on less because of your use with this tech? And I ask this because I notice it in myself. I notice myself using AI more, but I also notice myself using less human capabilities more less in my use of AI. And I think this is a very big problem we need to be more aware of. And I hope after this episode, you will just have a lot more awareness of this yourself so that you can change things, so you can work on things to improve things in yourself and with others around you. So let's get started in all of this. As I said, we talked about manufactured disconnection in our last episode. We talked about how social media algorithms prey on our emotions and prey on our negative emotions. They get us going, they get us incensed. They get us engaging in each other in a negative way. They to drive clicks, to drive views, to drive profit. And today I want to talk a little bit about how AI is adding fuel to this fire. It is only exponentially making things worse. And I want to talk about some things we can do about it. But let's start with a couple of the problems that I'm seeing first. One, we already have, as I said, those algorithms driving negative interactions because these tech companies know that negative emotions gets us to engage more. But now we have AI, which can create new content. It can create images. It can create videos, which are becoming more and more indistinguishable from reality. It is becoming harder and harder to tell the difference between what is real and what is made with AI. And this is a major problem in trust, which I'll talk about a lot throughout this video. But yes, videos, images, and of course, text. It can all be generated with AI. It can be generated quickly. It can be generated almost all of the time, and it's getting better and better all of the time. And so this is making it almost kind of impossible to trust what you see. And we already had a problem with this. We had a problem with believing what is real or not, what is true or not. And so now we have this additional cognitive and emotional load in looking at this new content and trying to understand if it's real or not. It was already a problem before. Now it's even worse. Our brains are working even more to be able to distinguish truth from reality from this AI. And we already are overwhelmed. We already have a lot of cognitive load that we are already dealing with, and this is just only accelerating that. So just imagine the additional energy it's taking to try to distinguish these things. It's also making human expression a little harder to trust. We have these AI videos of people that are becoming very real and very lifelike, and probably in not very long, it will be almost impossible to tell if it's AI or not. And so we are kind of already in this kind of disconnected world. And now we have AI videos and AI people and things like AI social media influencers, which are kind of confusing our brain even more. And so where I'm going with this is we have the potential to kind of make it harder to trust human expression as well. Our brains kind of becoming more and more confused as to what is real or not just in what we see, but just in how we see people express themselves. And I think that is a major problem. We also have an additional issue here. And if you use AI much, you might be aware of this one, but AI, unless prompted very specifically, does not really challenge you much. It does not really question you much. It acts almost like a hype person. It's like a yes person. It very rarely, again, unless you prompt it specifically to not do this, it will only encourage your existing ideas. What you put in, it will encourage more. And where I see this as a problem is we need to be able to be challenged ourselves. We need to be questioned ourselves. We need to have not only our ideas challenged, but our beliefs challenged. And I think this can be healthy in a way. And when we are not challenged in this way, well, one, we're kind of losing our ability to be challenged and deal with being challenged, and which can be good for us, but we're also losing our ability to challenge other things and systems as well, which again, we need to be able to ask questions. We need to be able to say, hey, I don't agree with this. We need to be able to challenge systems and people in healthy ways to have, I would say, a functional and healthy society. And this is just another area where overall trust is being impacted. And yes, I'll say that word a lot because it is the bedrock and foundation for so much of how we are as as a society and how we are with each other. And so, yes, we have these AI systems adding additional fuel to this existing fire. These systems never sleep. They take in information, they continually learn from that information, and then they can be used in further disconnecting us from each other. They can be used to create things like bots, which are all over the internet these days, which are driving us to fight with each other more and be open more to being manipulated. And I would add one last thing to this is when we feed our information to these systems, it's not only doing all of this to us, but companies are profiting from that. So think of all this potential negative impact while companies are making money off of us in so many different ways. I mentioned this a lot in the previous video around manufacturer disconnection, around how companies are profiting from this. So it's just a multi-edged problem that we need to be aware of. And just one more note about trust. Trust, again, is the foundation of so much. When we don't trust people, when we don't trust that we'll be supported, when we don't trust that something is real, we go inward. We are less and less likely to engage in a conversation. We're less and less likely to want to talk to anybody because we don't trust that the outcome will be good. We don't trust in the person or people themselves, and yes, we are just more. Um, we were able to be more impacted and to go into a place of isolation and loneliness, which is just. I hope you're understanding the gravity of the potential problems that come with all of this degraded trust. And just to ask before I go to the next section, do you feel this? Do you feel it worse out there? Do you feel it in a worse way on in social media or when you're out in the world? Because I do feel it. I see it when I'm on social media in so many ways, and I see it out in the world with how people are interacting with each other. We are just really losing the ability to function and communicate as humans, and I think it's just a major, major problem. Before I go into the next section, I do want to call out This is not me saying that we just should not use AI at all. AI can be good. I use it myself. I use it almost every day, and I use it in a way that inspires me more. I try to take ideas and to get more ideas out of that, and I try to use it in a way again to bring more inspiration to myself and to feel into that. I'm not saying to not use AI at all. What I am saying is we need to be really aware of the potential impacts and problems with it, so that we can work on them and not lose ourselves in it. As I'll say more, as I'll talk about more in a moment. So let's get on to the next section, which I think is almost equally as bad as the degradation of the trust in our society. And that is the offloading of our essential human capacities and capabilities to AI. I'm talking about things like thinking for ourselves. I'm talking about things like feeling for ourselves. And so much of these human capabilities they're like muscles. If we don't use them, they wither, they atrophy. It's like playing a guitar. If you play guitar for a while, you get good at it and you put it down for 2 years, you're not going to be able to pick it up and pick up where you left off. These things require practice. These things require consistent use for them to be stable and strong. And as you'll see, the less we use them, the less strong they'll be, and this will have a profound impact on us as people, on ourselves as human beings, and on our ability to connect with other people and to function as a society. I want to call out a study that recently came out by MIT that is incredibly alarming, in my opinion. And in this study, three groups, people were broken up into three groups, and they were asked to carry out essays. And their brain activity was scanned during these activities, these writing and these essay activities. And these three groups were given three different ways of doing their essays. One group could use ChatGPT, could use AI. The second group could use traditional search engines. And the third group could only use their brain and do research, much like in the past when you went to the library to do research. And so they studied these groups over several months in their writing of essays, and some alarming statistics came out of this. One, the Chat GPT group that used AI for these essays, one, they had less overall brain activity, but in 83% of cases, they could not remember key passages of what they wrote when they wrote using AI to help them. I mean, 83%. Um, uh, that is an alarming number. And I've noticed this myself. When I use AI too much to do something, to write something, I don't often remember or have a closeness to what I did. And I think that's really, really alarming. Another alarming factor in this study was that these effects lingered after the group stopped using ChatGPT, and they lingered afterwards. And I just think, wow, imagine the impact of this at scale over the years. And when I say at scale, I mean the number of people in the world increasingly using AI and increasingly using it more. Imagine the impact on our ability to think, on our ability to write new things and create new things, and also just be close to that those things that we're creating. Imagine the overall impact. Um, and so we are kind of removing ourselves from the ability to solve problems, to think about complex things. The more we offload to AI, the more those parts of our brain get weaker. And just again, think about the scale and the impact over all of this. I also want to talk about something that I think is incredibly important here as well, and that is using AI in place of our own human relationships. And we're seeing this more and more as well, where we are seeing chatbots, we are seeing people avoid what you will say maybe the messiness of human relationships and instead going to AI. As I said, we're seeing chatbots being put in front of people to be companions, to take the place of human relationships, and people are doing it. People are more and more using AI bots to have conversations, to work out problems, and while I will say this can be good in some cases, I worry about the overall future of us using it in this way too much and avoiding actual human contact and as I said, the atrophying of the muscles of feelings, of talking to actual human beings, of connecting with other people. And yes, I have friends and people I know that use AI as almost like a therapist in a way. And I'm not saying that that is inherently bad, but again, I just want to call out the impact of using this more and more and talking to actual people less and less. And so I hope you kind of see the cycle here that I'm talking about. We have already weakened human skills. We have more reliance on AI. We have further weakening of those skills and the overall just the increased disconnection from ourselves and from other people. Just think about and feel into this impact. This has just immense problems that we could face if we continue down this path. Because once we lose these capabilities, we're more vulnerable to manipulation. We're more disconnected from others, and we're more disconnected from our collective power. And just also imagine the struggle that we will experience more in the new age if we are losing so much of our thinking capability and so much of our feeling capability. Imagine what we will be like as people and as a society if we continue down this path. So I want to now move into some potential things and a framework, if you will, for what we can do to think about this, some solutions that we can look at. Well, one, we need to remember and continually connect with our own human intelligence, the ability to think, the ability to feel on our own, the ability to form our own thoughts and beliefs, and to talk about those beliefs and to question those beliefs in ourselves and to really think in a deep way instead of continually outsourcing those to AI. I'm not saying not outsource those sometimes to AI, but we need to get into a practice of doing this on our own because it can be very easy to just fall into the trap of moving to AI all the time. Another area where we can practice our own authentic presence with other people, being fully present with other people as human beings. And this is not easy all the time. This can be complex. This is not perfect. It can be hard. We have hard conversations, but we need to be able to practice being human with others, being with others. We already had COVID and the pandemic really affect our ability to do this for so many years. And now I hope you can see the potential for AI to impact this even more. And I would say one other thing we really need to focus on here is to be able to focus on human collaboration, working together, achieving things with other people, not just talking and connecting with other people, but working together with other people, because this experience is irreplaceable. Being able to work together with other people, to have shared goals, the feeling of deep satisfaction that comes from collective accomplishment, from working together with other people and accomplishing a goal. This is something that we are really losing sight of in all of this disconnection. And this is something that we can practice. We can learn how to do this and to do this more. And this will only bolster so much of these human capabilities. And so I want you to just think about as we kind of get towards some actual things you can practice and towards closing, but just think about a group of people, or maybe think about two groups of people. One group that is relying heavily on AI to work together and get things done. They're more interacting with AI than they are themselves. They're not really using the human capabilities of feeling things, feeling inspiration, feeling wow factors, versus a team that is really focusing on the human part of things. They might be using AI, but they're also connected with each other. They're sharing ideas. They're saying, "Oh, wow, that's a great idea," or maybe not. I disagree with that, and here's why, and I feel it in my body. Just think about the difference between those two groups, one that is heavily using AI and one that is not. And to me, the group that is connecting in a human level while using AI and really focusing on the human side as much as the AI side it seems more inspiring to me. It to me seems like a group that's going to get more done, that's going to be able to innovate, to create more, and to build more. And I want to just say again one more time before I go into the practices, I'm not saying not to use AI at all, but just to not forget some of the impacts here, and also just to realize what I just said around the possibilities that come with working those human muscles. So let us get into some practical kind of near-term steps that you can use to work on this, some maybe longer-term practices, and then we will close it out. So for some immediate action, some things you can do right now. This is where just choose one area where you might be using AI today, or you might not be using AI in this way at all, but think about these areas in terms of ways that you can practice some of these human things, these human capabilities. One is actively use your brain. When you need to think about an idea, when you need to create something new, don't just turn to AI. Think about it. Take this might seem very weird and basic, but take some actual time to sit and think. I know I have gotten into the habit of turning to AI to work out an idea, to work out something. Take a moment to just use your brain. This can be when it comes to writing your next email, writing your next project, working out your next idea. Think about it yourself first. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Just think about your idea. Think about what you're going to do with your own brain. This can be one way to just get in the habit of thinking and making sure not to go to technology every time you want to get something done. Another way you could do this, plan something creative using your brain. This could be an event. This could be going out to dinner with a group of people, your partner, but plan something creative with your brain. Think of something new. Feel into in your body what that might feel like, and what inspiration feels like, what creativity feels like. This can be, a little nuanced, but I'm just laying some groundwork for some initial ways that you can think about this. Another very basic thing: set aside time during your day to literally just think about things. You can just set a timer, and you can just set technology aside and pick a topic to think about. Just pick a topic, something you enjoy, and use your brain to think about it. Again, this can be very basic stuff, but we are losing access to these very things the more we use technology. Challenge yourself to have human interactions and to feel into them. This is something that we do here a lot at Conscious Ground, where we talk about feeling into our bodies and understanding what we're feeling when we're going through something, when we're having a conversation, when we're having an interaction. Just challenge yourself to have more human interactions. Ask a human being for advice. Share an idea with a human being. Tell them what you're inspired by in it and what you think about it. Another idea here: encourage group work. Thinking about working together with other people. Right, bring an idea to other people. Get a group of two or three people and just to share an idea. Again, you might think this is silly, but I think these are things we really need to think about more in this age of accelerating technology. We really need to stay close to our thinking, to our ability to feel into experiences when we're going through life. And these are just a few simple ways that you can think about this. Some longer term practices that you might consider is just treating human skill development as essential maintenance, just like exercise. Being able to do some of the practices that I just mentioned, just around thinking, around feeling into ourselves and interacting with people. This is such an important practice and maintenance we need to do, just as I said, just like exercise. And as I said, at Conscious Ground, these are some of the things and practices that we provide. We teach essential human skills for the future. So one long-term practice you can do is to follow us for more of this. And so we're getting to the end here, but I want to say there's some common obstacles here. There's some things that you might want to think about, right? when it comes to thinking about things, creating new things, AI certainly can help accelerate things, can help us get things done faster. You might think that your human skills are not good enough, and oh, everybody else is using AI, so I need to do it. I need to do it to keep up, and that can be very true. But I want to just go back to the idea of making sure that we're not using AI too much. And I think people that work on these human skills alongside AI are going to be in a much better place and a bigger advantage in the future than people that are solely using AI while losing access to these human skills. So, some things you might think about as you're kind of working on these things, you might be more confident in your own thinking. I feel a little bit more confident in my ability to think about things the more I actually use my brain. When I use AI too much, I feel cloudy. I feel cloudier. And when I focus on spending time using my brain to think, when I spend time trying to be really present with others and really trying to connect with them and feeling my body when I'm doing so, I can feel that difference. And I feel more capable of creating change. I feel more empowered in the world. And I think you will too if you start to consider some of this and start to practice some of this. So as we close, I want you to, if you don't mind, if you thought this was interesting, if you want to learn more, or if you think this work is important, please share this video out, or at least give it a like. It would really help get this work out to more people, I think, and we think this is crucial work that we will need for the future of society. And I would also say, tell us in the comments what you think, what you learned. Do you think we need to work on these human skills? Or do you think it's fine? We'll just keep using AI the way we are, and that's no problem. Third, I would say here, and most importantly, check the description for how you can follow along with our launch here at Conscious Ground, because we are giving free access and giveaways to so many things that can empower you here. We're talking about some of our first courses that we're launching. We're talking about events that you can get access to, mentoring sessions for you and for your team, and so much more. So be sure to check the description for more info there. And I would just close it out that the world needs more leaders like you, leaders that are interested in growing in human ways, leaders and people that want to have more power to create change and create impact in the world. You can do this. You have more ability to do this than you realize. I really believe in that. And we are here to show you how to do it. So thank you so much for watching. Please join us in our next episode where we're going to talk about the concept of social health, the idea that our connections, our human connections, play a role and have an impact on our overall physical health. I have been loving this topic and really interested to dive into it with you more. So be sure to check us there for the next episode. Thank you so much again if you got all the way to the end here. And until our next one, stay conscious, stay grounded, and thank you so much.